make things like swords and pickaxes.
That's cool. Yeah, Steve Turtle here. That's amazing.
In the window.
Wait, my hair
Steve
okay?
Turtle in your window.
Walked up like, who are you?
Drop off some stuff, and then I'm walking back across the walkway.
Some of you may be wondering, what or who is a Steve Turtle? Steve Turtle has kind of been a pioneer in the RV YouTube area, whereas he's been doing this for a while. What he's best known for is work camping. Him and his wife, Jill Turtle, would go out and they would do work camping gigs for a certain amount of months at different campgrounds around the United States. And they would make YouTube videos about the work camping gig as well as their adventures that they would have while they were out there. And he would also do regular live streams. They were very fun and entertaining. The guy is excellent at making entertaining content. But he would also put information about how people can find work camping gigs. So it was very informative and helpful and useful. And then in 2021, he joined the rest of us in our group of 4 where we were doing the vidlift videos, where we were helping other people critique and try to improve their videos. So he's one of those friends that I would meet with regularly, even though we weren't hanging out in person. So we got to know each other pretty well. And he's kind of disappeared off the radar for a while. Well, that's because he's gotten himself kind of a full-time gig, like a work camper, at this pioneer village. So he invited us to come over and hang out and check this place out and give us kind of a personal tour on a day when they weren't really open to the public. So it was a really neat experience for our whole family and to spend some quality time with our friend Steve Turtle.
On an old wood stove. And I think the most I've seen her cook is 400 biscuits.
What?
Wow.
We had school field trip out here. We had 400 students.
Wow.
And they just run from place to place. And
Wow.
do what children do.
Super cool.
The family had 17 children.
My.
I guess it was really cold.
We only have 3. That's good.
Okay.
We have a research library, a sewing shop, a dentist's office, and a carpenter shop.
Cool.
And then a restroom on the very end.
Can I make an ornament?
Oh, I don't think we're going to fire anything up today. We're just going to look.
Ooh.
Tyndall Air Force Base?
Yeah, Tyndall. And we also do classes. Our classes are going to start up this year. We have up to 10 students. Instead of a billows, you know, a billow like a hand-pumped billow, he has these
Look,
crank and
see that?
force air across the fire, which makes the fire hotter. And normally there'd be a nice amber fire going on right there. You put your iron in the fire until it turns a pretty yellow, and then you put it over here and you beat on it. Our classes, we make these. So that's one of the first things that a student would make.
And what would this be used for?
That's just a hook. Now, let's say in one of the cabins they have the thing, I can't remember what the thing's called, but it swings over the fire and the pot hangs on it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you'd hook this here and hook your pot there. And some, they have like a rod across that you could hang different things on.
And that would be for cooking or for like when it's drying? Or?
For cooking.
So if somebody was making chili over a fire, which this one loves making chili all the time, see, you could use that to hang your bucket over the fire to make your chili. Look at all the metal objects all over the place.
I'll give you that one. And you can have that one.
What do you say?
Souvenir.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, the first class, everybody has to make a nail and a hook. They're not hard. But it's all just a process of heating the metal up and then banging it out. Now this is a bunch of different nails. Blacksmiths back in the day, they had these so that, you know, if a customer came by and said, hey, I need some nails. You say, all right, what kind? And he'd pick out the kind he needs and tell him how many he needs, and he'd make that. And a nail's fairly easy. It's just sort of start off with a piece of stock and you beat on it until it comes to a point, and then you snap off the head, and then you sort of flare it. And you flare it with a tool called a nail header.
Here you go, Kalen. Here's some tools.
So you put the nail through there. The sharp point goes through there, and when you hit it, it'll flare out the head.
Okay.
And that's how you get your head on the nail.
Pretty cool.
And then your next class, you make one of these. And then you make a set of tongs. The tongs is one of the most used things that a blacksmith makes or uses. If I can get it out. There's different ones for different types of things that you might make.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's a pair of pliers to hold your metal so that you're not holding something hot with your hands.
Yep.
But you go through a process to make it. So you start out with this. The next step is you heat this part up and make this. And all it is heat it up, hit it with a hammer. Heat it up, hit it with a hammer. And then you make this part, and you start to make this. This turns into this, because a whole bunch of beating and heating. And you go through the whole process. And then this is your tool.
Isn't that cool?
Took me all day, 7 hours. Heat it up, beat it. Heat it up, beat it. But it was fun. It was interesting, and you want this hole in your metal, you have to make this tool. And you heat your metal up here, you take this, you lay it here, and you drive it through, and you pierce the metal, and that's how you make your hole.
Does that make sense?
They didn't use drills.
That's why that hole's right there.
They use a hammer.
So that they can hit that.
And that's called a hardy hole. And it's a hardy hole because you use different tools. This is not a good example. Two different things.
I'm not into it.
You put it in here. I still haven't got it right. And when you have your metal and it's hot and you want to cut it, you lay your metal here and hit it. Instead of taking the and hitting it.
Okay.
And that cuts your metal.
It's awesome.
So Hardy must be the one that came up with
Probably.
that.
Probably.
Cool.
What you can see on the wall of all the things that blacksmiths would make for the community. This is a shaving knife so that you could take spindles, you know, wood, and make spindles and things like that.
Okay.
Some of this, I don't know what it is. Here's a pair of scissors
Oh, wow.
that a blacksmith made. Of course, knives. Everybody wants to know how to make a knife.
Right.
And ornamental things like crosses for like a gig. And of course, one of the things they made a lot of is horseshoes.
Yes.
Yep.
Because they had a lot of horses and mules. Horseshoes, hinges and hasps. Everybody that had a door had to have a hinge or a hasp. This is a hinge pin that's driven into the log. And then the hinge goes over that, it goes to the door. Just all of these things. Ladles, forks, spoons, knives, chains, door latches.
Oh, yeah.
So all of these things were what the blacksmith would make for the community. In a bigger city, they'd start to branch out and do certain specialties like a clock maker or a lock maker, you know, a guy that specialized in just making nails. Could you imagine how many nails you need to build a house?
Right. Especially like you said, in a city,
bang 'em out
you're going to need a lot of nails.
So they were, and then, you know, as the Industrial Revolution came about in the 1900s, everybody was like, you know, we don't do it that way, we're going to do it this way. And you start, you know, automating everything.
Right.
And he got it tied around his fingers and he pulled off a few of them. So every once in a while demonstrating to the student, and they asked him, what happened to your fingers? And he said, well, I lost them. And if you see them around here, make sure you pick them up and bring them to me because I need them back.
Wow.
That'll have kids going nuts.
Yeah.
Mom, did you hear that?
Look for his fingers.
Look for his fingers. Oh,
But Kaylin, over here, this is where the real work's going on. Here's the actual tools that are getting used.
Yep.
Look at the pliers going all up and down there. So remember, he turns this thing to make it hotter.
You know, when they first start out, they don't. I mean, you don't have all the things to make the things that you want to make, so you start making those things. And a lot of things weren't made until you had a job to do, and you're like, oh, how am I going to hold that? So you make a special thing. That's why they're all different. To hold that piece of metal so that you can get your job done.
What does that make you think of in your video game that you love?
Minecraft.
Right. So they play a game called Minecraft, and in that game, it's very similar. There's things you can't accomplish until you've made some other type of tool beforehand. And that's actually why she was interested in coming in here.
Well, I find the history of a place like this very interesting, and if you think about how we've evolved, you're challenged with a task, but you don't have necessary tools to do it. So you got to think of how you're going to do that.
Yep.
And that's the mother of all inventions. You think of, and then you have this thing, and you go, wow, this is really hard. How can I make it easier?
Yeah,
So,
how can I make it better?
and today we have the same thing, but it's just different things.
Yeah.
You know, it has to do with computers and things like that. But
Right.
pioneers, you know, they didn't have a lot of things until they made them.
Yeah.
Or somebody made them for them. But
I love it.
yeah.
Ingenuity. That's what I call ingenuity, the elbow grease.
I love it.
Well, one of the things that I found so fascinating about this place is the stuff is cool, but the lifestyle. You don't really think about the lifestyle so much as the things. You know, yeah, it was hard, and you know they built cabins, and you know they had to do that. But what was their day-to-day like? And in 1820, 1840, I mean, those are primitive times. Going to the creek to get your water
Yes.
could be a challenge. You don't know who you're going to come up against.
Yeah.
Law wasn't really a thing. Indians. And I think,
Yeah.
wow, you know, that's hard stuff.
It is.
I had watched the first episode. It was almost a movie of Little House on the Prairie with the girls recently, and seeing it was just that first episode was very different from the rest of the show.
Right.
And to see
How
them
he
go
hurt-
out there
he
and
got hurt and all that stuff.
he got hurt, but then
He was
the
like
the local Native Americans that were coming to it, and at first they had an agreement and they were happy with each other, but then somebody else upset them, and what they had to deal with, somebody lighting the barn on fire and setting the horses free, and yeah, it's interesting. And it, you know, whereas we sit around and watch TV and play on our phones, well, there was none of that. What did they do?
Yeah.
Play with the doll made of straw, and
Yeah.
maybe have a chalkboard with some chalk if they're lucky.
Chase the chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of the children, they had chores. I mean, you wake up in the morning and somebody's got to go get water. You want a bath, somebody's got to go get water. And it may have been a hand pump. You know, you didn't have to go to the creek, but somebody still had to go get it. You
Right.
didn't have plumbing.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's just the whole thing. And I started watching that movie or show, 1886,
Okay.
and it's about a wagon train going across to, I think they were trying to get to Oregon or whatever, but it's very, very, I mean, you know, it's cowboys and rustlers, and, you know, it's just all those things, and it made me think about, that was 1886.
Yeah.
We had people living in these cabins in 1820. That's a few years before that.
Yeah.
And you know, what was that like?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I love
I
it.
really like that. So I've been trying to, you know, brush up on my history here and things like that. But just the concept of the place really gets me excited.
That's cool.
Plus, I get to come over here and play like I'm a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't do it as much as I'd like to do it. But you know, the founder, he's like, man, go over there and play.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
If you're bored, it's a pretty cool backyard.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. You see the electric fence, Kira?
We have 7 pigeons, 2 guineas over here, and here's our new guineas. Hey, babies.
Papa New
Y'all
Guineas?
doing? We used to have 2 turkeys. Well, hello, y'all growing so fast you are. I know. Well, we had the 2 over here, and they're both males, so we knew they were pretty lonely, and they needed mates. And we went a little overboard, and we got 20 of them.
Wow.
So we're hoping we get a couple girls out of all
And
those.
what are they?
They're called guineas. guinea fowl. I think they originate from Africa.
Huh.
But they're these when they grow up. They're very good at eating bugs.
Y'all see the electric fence around the bottom?
Yeah.
So watch your ankles.
Let's get the fox out.
Watch your ankles.
What does the fox say?
The fox says thank you. He ate 2 turkeys in a peacock. And he's wily.
So these are the guineas here?
Yes, those are guineas.
All right.
Wow.
And,
Both males.
and doves. And peacocks.
The white dog.
Yeah, they're pretty.
And chickens.
Yeah, we got a couple chickens.
Hello.
More chickens back.
Hello.
That's Bessie over there. It looks like she's making a hole. I don't know why. These are new. They're much bigger than these, but the breed they're bigger. We've got 3. We just got them in the spring or the summer. They're probably a good 6 months old.
Look at the fuzzy feet on this one.
I know.
That means this chicken can fly.
I can't remember the breed that does that, but and a couple roosters.
You want to pop an orange off of there?
These aren't quite ready.
You know what? This one's yellow.
Let me see these.
It's citrus. I mean, if you
Get
smell
it.
it's an orange,
Got pull.
but it's got like a big tip.
You have to find one that's orange.
Here you go.
Orange.
You're okay.
It looks like a cutie.
What are we going to do with them in the
does look like a
truck?
cutie.
Are we going to eat them?
You could probably eat it before we even leave. You hungry kid?
You can eat it now if you want.
Pull.
Get one for now and eat one later.
You could probably like use your hook and
You want one?
One for me.
That's it.
Okay.
I'll get one for mom. Oh, that one was easy. Super easy.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
And the deer come over and eat them.
And they
I dropped my phone.
and the mosquitoes don't like the smell.
Keep away from
I hear mosquitoes don't like citrus.
Let's get more. Hurry.
All right, you got enough. Come on.
Let's get more.
She's all right. She's okay. They smell of citrus, you know, like an orange.
What is this? Down?
Oh yeah, that smells orangish.
Yeah.
Smells. You know what? You just carry around in your pocket and keep the mosquitoes away.
There you go.
What is it?
Rub it all over you. It's like a kumquat.
I don't
You
know.
can eat it. You can eat it.
Is the skin edible?
Yeah, the whole thing. If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it. I don't necessarily like them. I'd eat orange. If I come by this tree,
It's like a lemon lime orange. It's good.
okay.
Skin off, or you could eat it with the skin.
Yeah, city folks are weird, aren't we?
I don't know any. I'm referred to as a Yankee. And I'm from South Carolina. I spent too much time up north. And they all are a little bit unique. That one down there has a casket in it.
You're still gonna eat it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's questions.
It's weird. Yeah.
Is that the bed?
No,
We
it's
sure
a
that-
casket.
Did Dracula maybe live there?
No, it's a casket. It's for dead people.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I referenced Dracula.
Maybe somebody worked.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
When
Worked at a-
it was
It
Dracula.
was a wake. They were doing a wake.
They were doing a wake. Okay.
Maybe it
They
was
just left it there.
Dracula's Florida vacation home.
You want to go up to the axe room?
Sure.
All right.
I'll show you. It smells a lot like a basement in somebody's house, but
It reminds me of when we would tour like battleships.
but it's all the tools that they'd use to build cabins and houses and wagons and all that good stuff.
Yeah, plumber's wrenches down here.
Yes, yep, lots of wrenches, irons, lanterns, artifacts, Indian arrowheads.
Do the people typically stay on one side?
No, you can wander around, do what you want to do. Fish traps, yokes,
Yeah.
saws of all different types, misery saws, two-hand, axes.
You see all the pickaxes, Kayla?
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here,
I was
did you
looking-
see all the pickaxes? There's different kinds. You got these kinds here, and you got over here. We could go mining. Hey, you ever been mining with miners? Miners?
A gemstone.
No, miners.
Yeah, I was mining with miners at a gemstone mine.
What is that? Behind Caitlin.
What are you looking at?
Is that from a palm tree?
No.
Shield.
I thought it was gator skin at
Do you know
first.
anything about turpentine?
No.
Okay. So turpentine comes from the pine tree, and they score the tree. The sap runs in, and then they gather it in a pot like this, or a tray like this, and they take it to a facility, a place that they'd have processed, and they'd cook it, and the process would give you turpentine. And these are some of the tools that they'd use to score the trees and do this. And some of them had like little funnels to.
Okay.
And they'd start off, they'd score a tree down low, and they'd catch it. And then, you know, you do that for a while, and then you score it again. And every time you score it, it would bring out more. And it's just, that's a piece of a tree.
He's got the dried corn, which is like the popcorn.
You do that, and then you turn it.
Don't put your fingers down in there.
Yeah.
See it coming out the other side? And that kind of stuff used to make cornbread, probably tortilla chips.
And you feed the chickens. You want to try it?
You want to turn it? Just don't put your fingers in past the wheel, okay?
Go the other way. Yep, that right there. Go ahead.
Pull, push.
Yeah, they worked hard to get fed.
Make turkey, anything.
Yeah.
Anything like a corn tortilla, you could make cornbread, grits, muffins, you know, whatever you'd make out of a corn.
That's the base.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's base.
So yeah, Kaylin, the tortilla chips, you make nachos. At one point, they were this. Yeah. This
Make chips.
is the early process of that. See, nowadays they got factories to do all this, but back in the day, this is how it was done. Is there something still in there?
Yeah.
But you said that you'll take that ground up stuff and give it to the chickens and the birds and stuff?
Yeah. I put it in a gumball machine.
Oh, right. Yeah, perfect.
And when we have field trips, we have things like this set out. We have a clothes washing station over here. So the children set up three big wash tubs. And the children come over and they fetch their own water in a pump. They fill up each of the tubs, and then they go through laundry, rinse,
Yeah.
And then they have a little clothesline out with some old clothespins, and they set them out, just so they know how it was done. And then my wife says, "And that's just your shirt. Now you gotta wash the rest of the clothes."
Yep.
But it's fun because all the kids get to take a turn, and it's something different.
Yeah. You know, what's funny is you said, I don't know what we got fun to do over here.
Well, we're trying. We are. We're trying to do more. Uh-oh.
What happened? Was that
She dropped her hook.
your hook's on the ground behind you?
And school's open.
Come on, girls, let's go to school. All right, get out your arithmetic books.
No,
Do you know what arithmetic is?
no,
It's math.
no.
Yeah, let's do some phonics.
No,
Get out your New England primer.
no.
Man, what do you... Something.
This is it.
So, when you get in trouble in school, you have to come sit in the corner with the dunce cap on. They faced the corner, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They had to
Not
face.
sure. It's just an old-fashioned timeout. The hat, I think, was just to make fun of you.
Just kind of everybody know they're in trouble.
You have to wear that?
If you're in trouble and you sit on the stool and you look at the corner while everybody else is still doing their lesson.
Old-fashioned timeout.
I was getting in trouble in the old days.
They're not quite sure how old this church or this school is. They have a picture of a class of 1897. And the point is that in 1897, it's an old school.
Who can tell me how many stars are on that flag?
Aha.
It's going to bother you, isn't it? I know how many stars are on that flag.
Wait. 48.
Did you write turtle on there?
No, I didn't. I should have, but I didn't.
All right, girls, this is how you learn math right here.
Yeah, what's that called?
1 plus 3. What is it called, Tanya?
Abacus.
Abacus.
Yeah.
A heater.
Yeah.
School.
Time for school. The president of the board was talking to me yesterday, and he called it the Methodist.
Methodist.
Methodist church.
Chapter of what book? You're not going to let that go, are you?
Chapter 2.
Chapter. What book are we reading?
YouTube.
The YouTube book.
Genesis. That's the best.
It all started with Genesis.
And an alphabet. There we go. Here we go. It's prime now. All right, now we're doing it. There you go.
Nice and orange.
You know why it's orange?
Because of all the orange juice.
The orange tree.
You got orange too. Oh my goodness, it's such a good.
It comes out that way because the pipes. So you have to pump your water. You put it in each one of the pans. And then one's your wash pan, and you have a scrub board. And then you got a rinse pan, and then a second rinse pan. And then you hang them up.
This is how you got water for the house too, isn't it?
Yes, yes. You want to take a bath?
This is how you get your water.
You want to cook some noodles, potatoes?
Want to make some ramen?
Yeah.
Come out here and get your water. Look at that, one-handed.
It was closed in 61 and moved here 95.
Wow.
And I've been told by some of the that like one time means I need milk. 2 times is eggs.
No, you don't hold it up there because then it silences it.
3 times is fire.
And how many times is it to tell people you've updated your Facebook profile picture?
This is an electric car charger.
Electric car charger.
Yep.
Right.
You just plug this into your car, and if it's a
Tesla?
Tesla, it'll charge it. But the gas would be up here.
That is interesting. I always wondered how that worked because I'm sure they had a tank down below too.
Yeah.
So you think like it?
I think they pumped it up to there, and then as you filled gravity flow into your car, you could see how much you would put
See
in
the
tank.
numbers up there? Excuse me. What did you do? Too many times wearing the dunce cap at the school?
No.
You know what this is called? It's the stockade. When somebody was in trouble in the town, they would get locked in here for, I don't know,
That's like punishment.
days or hours.
Days.
That's a different kind of timeout.
Days.
That's the next level dunce cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't learn from the dunce cap, you're gonna learn from here, and if you don't learn from here, well, it just gets worse. But they would put it shows everybody of the town, don't be messing around, because you'll get caught and you get put in here.
Yeah.
And everybody will see you.
And they
Right.
get to walk by and make fun of you.
Yep.
You have such a value of knowledge thrown at you that, you know, if you don't suck some of that up,
Ooh.
I make friends and then I leave them, and then I leave them and I want to see them again, but my parents don't make plans and then I never see them again.
But just think of how many friends you're going to have.
But then I have to leave them. 25,000.
You'll have more friends than your dad has subscribers.
It's a true story.